Hey there, we're continuing on in Unit 8, and this lesson is area and circumference of circles. So it's super important for you to understand circles and to understand that the diameter is the distance across the whole circle. So if we're looking at this circle, that's our diameter. Okay, and then the radius is the distance from the center. So that's the center of our circle, right in the middle, from the center to any point. So the radius is half of the distance of the circle. It's also half of the diameter, okay? So diameter, we label with D. Radius, we label with R. Diameter is 2 times the radius. Radius is 1/2 of the diameter. Those are good formulas to know. The circumference is the distance around a circle, which is basically like the perimeter. So then when we're talking about the circumference of a circle, which we're going to do in a minute, we need to make sure we understand the formula. So this needs to be written down. Circumference is pi times diameter, or 2 pi r, or we would say 2 times pi times the radius. And remember, 2 times the radius is the diameter, so that's why they're exactly the same. So let's do some examples that you should be writing down and following along with me. So find the circumference for each circle. We're going to use 3.14 for pi. If we use pi, the actual pi button in our calculator, we will get a different answer than if we use 3.14, and we will talk more about that in class. So remember, the circumference is pi times diameter. Remember, and pi next to the D always just means multiplication, or the circumference is 2 pi r. Okay, for this one, we are given the radius. This is the radius because it's only half of the length of the inside of the circle. So I'm going to use the formula 2 times pi times radius. Okay, and remember we use 3.14. So C equals 2 times 3.14 times 4, because that's my radius. Okay, I know 2 times 4 is 8, so I'm going to do 8 times 3.14, or I can really just type in 2 times 3.14 times 4, and I will get circumference equals 25.12. It says round to the nearest tenth, so we're going to do C equals 25.1 feet. Circumference is like perimeter, so we don't make the label squared, we just leave the label as it is. Here we're given the diameter because this is all the way through the circle, so I'm going to do C equals pi times diameter. So we're going to do 3.14 times 63. If I do that in my calculator, you could be doing this with me. C equals 197. If we round it to the nearest tenth, it'd be an 8/10 inches. If I'm given the diameter like I am here, but I still want to use this formula, like 2 pi r, I can definitely just take half of the diameter, figure out the radius, and then times it by 2, and then times it by pi. Either way. Leon's circular hot tub has a diameter of 80 inches. What is the circumference of his hot tub? So I like to draw a picture. Of course, we're not going to draw a perfect circle, but it has a diameter of 80 inches. So my diameter means that it goes all the way through. It's 80 inches. So I'm going to use C equals pi times diameter. So 3.14 times 80. And I see what that is. And I get C equals 251 2/10 inches. I have my, whatever it is that I'm finding, the C, I have my answer, and I have my label. Okay, now we're going to talk about the area of a circle, which would be the inside of a circle. And the area of a circle is going to be pi r squared. So for the area, we do have to have the radius. But we know how to find the radius if we're given the diameter, because we just cut it in half. So make sure you have that formula written down. All right, so let's find the area. So again, we have area equals pi r squared. this squared goes with the radius. And remember, in order of operations, the squared comes first. So I need to do my r squared and then multiply it times 3.14. Okay, so I'm already given the radius here because the 2 is only half of the distance of the circle. So we're going to do 3.14 times 2 squared. Again, that comes first. So A equals 3.14 times 4, because 2 squared is 2 times 2. So then I'm going to do 3.14 times 4. And it says round to the nearest tenth. So we would get 12 6/10 inches. This is area, so we're going to do inches squared. You should be doing this in your calculator with me so that you understand and practice putting it in, and you're practicing your rounding. So I'm going to have you pause the video and try this one right now and then come back and check. So area is pi times radius squared. I'm given the diameter. So to find the radius, remember the radius is half of the diameter. So half of 24 is 12. So the radius is going to be 12 millimeters. So now I'm ready to put it into my formula for my circle. So 3.14 times 12 squared. I know that 12 squared is 144. And we have to do that first. So 3.14 times 144. So you should have gotten 452 2/10 millimeters squared. If not, check what you did wrong and fix it. The bottom of a circular swimming pool with a diameter of 30 feet is painted blue. How many square feet are blue? So it's a circular swimming pool, and if they're going to paint the whole bottom of the pool, that means they are finding the area. So I'm given the diameter. Remember, area is pi times radius squared. If my diameter equals 30, that means my radius equals 15 because it's half of the diameter. And now I'm ready to put that into my formula. So A equals 3.14 times 15 squared. So if I'm doing this in my calculator and I'm not sure what 15 squared is, I'm going to do 15 times 15, or I can use the squared button, either one. 15 times 15, then I'm going to hit enter, just so that I don't get confused and my calculator doesn't get all screwed up. So 3.14 times 225. Then I'm going to put that in. And I would get 706 5/10. And then I check to see, what was the label again? Feet squared, because it's area. And then I have a little enrichment problem that I want you to try to do. I know you all can do it because it's just finding the area of a couple different circles, and then come back and check to see if you get the correct answer. So read the problem, do it in your notebook, and then check. Okay, so here's what I got for the first one. I drew a circle with a radius of 7 centimeters, and then I put that into my formula, and I got an area of 153 9/10 centimeters squared. And then for the second one, I drew a circle with 10 centimeters of radius, and my area comes out to be 314 centimeters squared. And then I rounded 153 9/10 up to 154, and I subtracted them, and I got H for my answer, which is 160 centimeters squared. So double check your work to see if you got that, and then we will see you in class tomorrow.